What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video right here on Treeman TV. And today we have got something brand new for you. It is the start of a brand new series, and if you listen closely in the background, you might be able to hear the topic of the video. Because today we are going to be setting up and aquascaping a 20-gallon fish tank right here in my garage bedroom. This is the first time I've ever aquascaped a tank decent size. The only tank I have right now is a tiny 1-gallon little beta cube that my beta fish Yami lives in. If you want to find out if he'll be going in this tank, stay to the end of the video to find out more about him. And yeah, I'm super excited. I've been wanting to set up a tank in here ever since I got Yami and a small tank. And I was like, yeah, I kind of like this hobby. So today's big tank is going to have some live plants in it too. You'll get to see me set up the hardscape. And then if you enjoy this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, because we are going to be doing a whole series following up on the health of the tank, what kind of things I put in it, and how everything does. And maybe even set up another tank. You never know. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and roll the intro and jump into this. Alright, you guys. So, as you heard me say at the desk over there just now, we are going to be setting up this new aquarium right here. We got a nice 20-gallon tank. I've got some hardscape in here that I got to go boil the driftwood so it doesn't float. And then I got the rocks. I got some substrate here for the plants. We got a couple of little plants that we're going to get in there. I'm realizing now that I'm an idiot, though, and I'm going to have to make another run to Petco here in a minute, because my tank I bought didn't come with a filter, and I forgot to buy a filter. So, yeah, we're going to have to go get that. But before we go back to Petco, we can do the hardscaping, and then go to Petco. Alright, you guys, so the first thing we did here was obviously put the GoPro on the tripod so that I could have both my hands free for this bag of aqua soil here. I don't remember off the top of my head what the name of this brand is, but I picked it up at Petco for about 28 bucks for an 8-pound bag of aqua soil. That way, underneath the gravel that I'm going to cap it with, the plants have plenty of room to spread their roots through, and it's something that's going to actually provide nutrients, because obviously they wouldn't get any sort of minerals and stuff they need from just the gravel that's going to go on top of this. So you can see right there, I'm just kind of leveling it all out so that I can figure out how much more to pour in. You can see there's also a lot of empty space, so we're going to need to pour in a good amount more. My goal here was to get at least the rim. You can see on the bottom there's that little black rim that is covering up the glass. I want to fill up at least to the top of that with the soil, and then cap it with gravel so that it doesn't just end up in the water column with the loose soil once the water goes in there. So after this, I'm going to level it out one more time, and then here in a minute you'll see me pick the bag up again, and I'm going to pour some more of that in there, and I'll basically repeat that process all the way up until I have enough. We're going to go ahead and time-lapse the rest of this footage for you guys, though. So yeah, go ahead and enjoy that. So now that we've got the aqua soil all laid down, we've got to lay the gravel. But first, we've got to rinse it off. So I've got this handy-dandy strainer from Walmart, and we're going to go outside, hold it under the hose spigot, and just rinse it off until it looks like it's clean. So now that we've got our gravel all nice and rinsed off, we can go ahead and start adding it to the tank. I don't plan to add a whole lot of gravel, just enough to keep the aqua soil capped and in place. That way once it's been in there long enough,
you don't get anything floating up into the water column and causing the water to get all murky, because I'm pretty sure it's going to break down definitely more than the gravel will. But I also don't want to add too much gravel. That way the roots of the plants still are able to get to the aqua soil for the nutrients they need with relative ease, because that is the whole reason why we have the aqua soil in that tank in the first place, is to keep the plants nice and healthy for the whole ecosystem. Alright, so now that we've got the tank filled with gravel and aqua soil, we can go ahead and start putting in the hardscape. You can already see the first piece in there, that nice little temple. It's going to be a good spot for some of the smaller creatures to go and hide once they're in there. Up next, we've got these two nice pieces of driftwood that I was able to score at my local aquarium store. They fit together quite nicely to form this arch, and in fact the one slotted into the other so perfectly that I didn't need to use any sort of glue to adhere them there. I did spend a good 20 minutes boiling them to disinfect them and to help waterlog them, that way they won't want to float up, and yeah, they'll stay down there. We've also got a couple of nice big rocks here to put in front of each log to give it this nice symmetrical look and this big archway that you'll see come together here. The aquarium store near me had a nice sale going on their hardscape too, so I was able to get a fair amount. See, that piece was $10. And I'm going to take the price and face it away from the front, that way you don't actually have to see it, because it didn't come off when I boiled them. And yes, I did boil the rocks too, but this is the archway design that I was going for here, and this is where most of the plants are going to be planted around, but that is coming up here in the next step in the video. For plants, we have got this Rotala. It's our background plant. It's going to go in the back by the temple in the back half of the logs. And up front, in the front, is going to be this Hydrocodal triparta. I probably butchered that name, but that's going to go in the front half of the tank. So you can see that when I started planting, I was using these long tweezers. They're supposed to help you get the roots up underneath the gravel and into the soil better. But after doing this first one, I quickly found out that the roots really just stick to those things a lot. So instead, since I got long arms, what I did was go back to old school and just use my finger to poke a hole in the gravel and the soil, and then pop the little plant in the hole, bury it back up with the gravel and the soil, and move on to the next one. You can see this is all going to be most of our foreground plant in this clip. I'm really trying to scatter that stuff around the front. I am not going to attempt to say it here again for you guys, but I will pop the word up on the screen if you want to attempt to say it at home. And yeah, I'm really hoping that this stuff really just takes off and grows all over those rocks and those branches. I am planning to add a few more stem plants, but this was just all I could get within my budget for now. So hopefully they show some good signs of growth and we can get more plants in here and really fill out this aquarium and make it feel like a real ecosystem in the water, in the wild. So now that we've got all of the plants in place, we can go ahead and start filling this bad boy up with some water. You can see initially I started by pouring it onto the rocks and the hardscape so that I didn't pour it straight into the soil and stir everything up. Then the GoPro died, so all of a sudden the tank is 3/4 of the way full. You can see now I'm using this lid to do the same thing I was doing with the rocks. That way I'm not just pouring straight into the substrate and mixing everything up. I'm only going to put a couple more gallons in before I have to run to Petco and get the filter, so that these things don't sit without a filter for too long. So I'll see you guys after that.
Alright, you guys, I have just returned from Petco and got the filter all set up, so the 20-gallon tank is complete. Go ahead and stay tuned, leave a like and subscribe to this channel so that you can see what we end up putting in here once the tank finishes going through its first cycle. In case you're wondering, I just got a standard hang on the back style filter from Marineland, I believe is the brand. The 125 Penguin was the model, if I'm remembering correctly. You can see I got the thing going all the way down to like right behind the driftwood there. I had to put in some more gravel to really cap the aqua soil to make sure it doesn't get into the water column. But overall, for my first decent sized aquascape, I'm enjoying it. I like how I didn't need to use any glue to get the driftwood to sit where I wanted it. Just had to boil it off for a little bit so it would waterlog. And definitely follow along, because after this tank's populated, my next project is to take this tank down here that's got my good buddy Yami living in it and get rid of this tiny ass beta tank because this is just too small for him. Look, he's unhappy. He's pissed. He wants a bigger tank. And I have all this room to put like a 5-gallon tank down here for Yami. So he's going to get his own tank next. But first, I wanted to get the main tank set up here because this is going to be a community tank. There's going to be some Neocaridina shrimps on the bottom and some Corydoras. And leave a comment below to let me know what else you want to see in this tank. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe for future tank updates here. I think we'll call this playlist Treeman's Tank. And yeah, until the next time, this is Treeman and the Tank signing off. Peace.